We got Gary's Mod. Some news with Gary's Mod. Let's check this out. So, everybody, if you haven't heard that Nintendo will sue the living piss out of you for using their stuff, let me be the one to tell you. There's been countless issues in the past with Nintendo content. I don't know why people still do this. It just brings unnecessary conflict to the company at that point, because if anybody has ever really done some research on how Nintendo protects its IPs, you would realize it's not a good idea to do anything with Nintendo on stream or anything. Let's go ahead and get straight into the article though. It says Gary's Mod is taking down decades of Nintendo related add-ons. You know, I guess that makes sense because it's protecting the character's likeliness, and they take this character serious. Um, the popular physics sandbox game Gary's Mod is pulling all of its Nintendo related add-ons following copyright takedown requests made from the gaming giant. On Wednesday, the developers of Gary Mod made a post on Steam saying users may have noticed that certain Nintendo related workshop items have recently been taken down, adding that this is not a mistake, as the takedowns came from Nintendo. So at least they were honest about it. They didn't just lie and try to double down, on something that was stupid. They actually kind of talked about it. They did what they were supposed to do with that, and now people are respecting them because of it. Let's continue though. Honestly, this is fair enough. This is Nintendo's content, and this is Nintendo's content, and what they allow and don't allow is up to them. The post reads, they don't want you playing with that stuff in Gary's Mod. That's their decision. We have to respect that and take down as much as we can. This is an ongoing process, as we have 20 years of uploads to go through. I mean, that just makes sense though. You gotta think about it like this. How do you get people to play the game? Gary's Mod is 9 times out of 10 gonna be attracting a lot of little kids. What character is little kids really familiar with? You know what I'm saying? These are all things that he has to think about, or they have to think about on a day-to-day basis when they make these decisions. And if you think about it, it seems to me like they might have just been like, you know what? Screw that. I'm not gonna take this down until they say something. Why the hell would I? If you send me a message on Kick, I am trying to read it, but I'm having some trouble. Hold on, guys. Oh, there we go. That's crazy. Well, thank you, Quaggy XV, for putting that in. He said kick banned Rabbi Rothschild, head of the Rothschild family, the world record holder for most YouTube content. Type Rabbi Rothschild YouTube filter by live. Okay. We might check that out in the future content. I have to do some research on it. I kind of don't like doing that. But if I do that, if we do anything like that in the future, like if you guys have any suggestions or anything on the fly or off the cuff, if I do that, it's more so going to be after the main content. And then we'll go ahead and do some community-based content if you guys like. That's something that I'll be interested in too, But like I was saying, we'll go back into it. Honestly, this is fair enough. Basically, they're just, like I was saying, they're at the point where they're like, okay, we're going to do this as long as we can get away with it. If Nintendo wants to shut us up, we're going to get shut up. Hold on, guys. Sorry, my cat's in heat. But like I said, most people if they hear this, right, they're gonna be like, that's a little messed up. But he's right. Like they knew they were in the wrong. Pretty much, they knew they were in the wrong. They knew that they shouldn't have been putting that content up. They were getting away with it for 20 years plus. They said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to keep it in the game. We're getting a lot of people to come through and look at the game. I like that. Plus, they're down the street from the actual studio, Nintendo Studios. So it's kind of like they had no choice. But, if I was someone that was making money off of those uploads and using those uploads every day, and that was something that I look forward to playing every day, I could see myself being bummed out by it. But you got to realize that in the adult world, when you're trying to make money off of something and you're making a bunch of money off of something, you can't, you can't poke the bear too much. But that's just a lesson they learned. They know that. They knew this. They figured this out, and they're following suit. So I don't think it should be too controversial. But, people, to each his own. Let's go ahead and continue some more. I'll give you some more insight on this. Garry's Mod began removing Nintendo-related content earlier this year, but some users believe these requests were from a copyright troll rather than Nintendo itself. After looking into the most recent round of copyright takedowns, Garry Mod creator Gary Newman confirmed on X that he has been assured the takedown requests are legit. And I'm pretty sure he knows what they mean. And I guess that was the controversy. They're like, why are you taking it down over a troll when it's not really a troll? He probably got real deal letterhead writing from Nintendo saying, hey, bro, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You need to fix this or we're going to have an issue. And if I was them, I'd be doing that, because Garry's Mod has nothing on the decades in the legacy of Nintendo of being like the first home console, pretty much. So Garry Mod pretty much started removing stuff off of their platform. People are upset by it, which is understandable, but rightfully so. Garry Mod has to do what it has to do. The takedown requests mean that Garry Mod will have to remove a huge swath of Nintendo-related maps and other items. Over the years, player-made content on Garry's Mod has allowed them to do things like turn Super Mario 64 into a first-person shooter, or even explore Hyrule as Link. That's pretty cool. It's like a big modding community. It's an open-world sandbox, so you can create anything, and then it's like Forge mode on steroids with Half-Life models and textures that you can use, because Half-Life's engine is open source. So that makes sense. That makes sense. It's not something that they made intentionally. They knew that it was going to be an issue. Rather than censoring their player base, they allowed it to go on, and I guess it's controversial because they didn't say nothing. They just started removing stuff without saying anything until the community finally noticed. Which this company seems like, this guy, Gary Newman, seems like a type of guy that is a shady character. Like, he just will only tell you stuff as a need-to-know basis type thing. But I'm not attacking his, credibility. I'm just reporting what I seen today or yesterday, and I kind of thought it was interesting. And it's interesting in the point of, how does this relate to fair use? Because, and listen to me, because fair use can be a meaning of anything, but it is also fair use to take a product, change it around, make it into something new, and resell it as your own product. I guess if they're using the letterhead, and his name could be Matchy or Maki or some shit like that, that's why he has an M. You got a copyright on the letter M. They could just change the certain styles and stuff like that and make it in their community guidelines to just keep it that way. But that's how close to the edge they want to play. That's up to them at that point. But like I said, I'm not the guy that, is really upset by it. I'm somebody that really is neutral by the whole situation. It's a really situation to me. So with that being said, we can move on. For the guys on YouTube, I guess if you really like the content and you want to support a brother out, you want to see more in the future, don't be afraid to hit that comment, that like, that subscribe. You know I'm here. Go ahead and hit me up. I would love to talk to people. My link tree's in the description. You guys can hit me up on Discord at any time, and I'll always be willing to have a conversation. Make sure you hit that follow, that like, that comment, subscribe, and thank you very much.